Today marks 30 years since the shocking and vicious killings of Nicole Simpson and her friend Ron Goldman. The FBI is now releasing nearly 500 pages of documents related to the double homicide investigation. It details the great lengths investigators took to link Simpson to the crime scene through evidence, such as the rare shoe print found at the scene. The shoe print was Simpson's size and came from a rare Italian brand shoe that sold less than 300 of that particular model across the country. Investigators even going to the shoe manufacturing company at the time. O.J. famously was acquitted of the murder charges back in the 90s in what was billed as the trial of the century. He passed away from prostate cancer this past April, and the documents now available to the public for the first time due to the Freedom of Information Act request. Joining us now is NewsNation national security contributor Tracy Walder, who is a former CIA officer and FBI special agent. As always, Tracy, thank you. What is new in the documents now being released?
Well, thank you so much for having me, Marni. So really two things, in my opinion. I think the first one is just how much evidence was actually not presented at trial by the prosecution. That was a bit surprising to me, though I think I understand the case that they were trying to make. And then the second piece was the focus that you mentioned before on those size 12 Bruno Magli shoes, the depths, really, that the thorough depths that the FBI went to really investigate those shoes. I mean, they went all the way to the manufacturing facility.
Would any of this evidence have changed the outcome of the trial? Anything that's released now that wasn't admissible in court?
So in my opinion, no, because the way that the trial really played out was really an attack, quite frankly, on the LAPD and how the evidence was collected itself. Really, the defense was kind of proposing that contamination theory, and that is the theory that ultimately put the reasonable doubt in those jurors' head and led to O.J. Simpson being acquitted. So in my opinion, all of that evidence probably wouldn't have made a difference because the defense really focused a lot. We have to remember DNA was really in its infancy then, and it really put that reasonable doubt in the jurors' heads.
What about, Tracy, the released files and indications about hair samples from the case? What did that find and reveal?
You know, the hair samples are interesting as well. You know, those hair samples were really connecting. They were found in his vehicle, which I thought was really surprising as well, kind of putting people at the scene of the crime. But again, I think there was so much focus on the mishandling of the collection of that evidence. The trial really turned into a trial against the LAPD.
Is it standard practice for the FBI to publicly release records like this after individuals die, as in O.J.'s case? He passed away in April.
Yes, this actually is standard practice. It's not unusual. I mean, they did it obviously very quickly because there were a lot of questions surrounding it. But yes, typically once someone has passed away or a long period of time has occurred after that person's death, then those files are released. This is not necessarily unusual.
You know, there's so much lessons learned in a case like this. From an FBI and investigative standpoint, what do you think some of the biggest ones were now 30 years later?
You know, I think the biggest one, even when I was training at Quantico, one of my trainers actually helped process some of that evidence. And he said the biggest thing is to really ensure that evidence is collected properly and that everyone is on the same page, because that is what the defense attorneys can really jump on. And they had a case in that point. And so I really think that having proper procedures and proper collection procedures across the board in state, local, and federal law enforcement is really, really key here.
Is this it, these 500 pages, or could there be more?
In my opinion, this is probably it. It's pretty thorough. You know, the FBI was really just brought on simply to help in terms of processing the evidence and evidence collection. So it's my best guess that this is really not all. That sounds silly. There's almost 500 pages, but this is all that they have.
Tracy Walder, thank you. As always, nice to see you. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.